Former Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy says this whole episode reflects an anti-police sentiment that he's seeing throughout the country now.
Officers are looking at this, and it's a comedy of errors, and they feel unsupported by their leadership and under attack all the time. And this is a very important time when we have officers getting killed. Policing is entirely under attack, and that's why we have a 100% increase in the murder rate.
Yeah. Jason Rantz is a Seattle radio talk show host and often in focus on these issues with regard to law enforcement and where we are at this moment. Jason, your top line thoughts.
I hope everyone is as outraged and embarrassed by this as you and I are. You've got officers every single day in Chicago and across the country that put on that uniform knowing they might not come home after that shift. And Ella French, unfortunately, didn't get to go home. Her partner is still fighting for his life, and they're owed respect. These officers reeling from what's been going on, losing not just a member of the team and a member of their family, but realizing that they also are going through something and they're not being treated with any sort of compassion. It's so incredibly disturbing that anyone would treat a tradition like this, a sacred ritual, the way that they did. But it is, I do think, indicative of how little support and care Mayor Lightfoot and her administration has for cops. This is a symptom of that issue.
Well, and we're talking about a situation, too, where they are having to put money back into law enforcement in that city after defunding. And look, there's a whole lot of, and I've talked with a lot of officials from there and across the country who don't like that word defund the police, although they say they're mimicking what they see in the streets. Well, that's what the signs say, so I don't know what they're talking about. But when you take money away from things, when you reallocate, whatever fancy word you want to redefine that some on the left like to do, the bottom line is you've taken resources away. And so that's another thing that this mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is having to go backwards on now and saying, yeah, we're actually going to need some money for more cops.
Absolutely. Look, there would probably be a little bit of room for errors like what happened, rushing through a ritual, if these officers felt some level of support. But to be clear, Mayor Lightfoot, and frankly, Democrats around the country, they've emboldened these criminals by pushing policies that make communities unsafe. They blame Trump, or they blame guns, or everything except the actual criminals, because it wins them political points. And then they pretend someone calling you out for not doing a very good job, well, you don't understand the defund movement, or you're just coming after me because it's sexist and racist. Something that's more dangerous than the gangbangers that are committing these crimes are the Democrats that are emboldening them to do that. And cops are sick of it.
Wow.
And this is what they're doing in response. They're turning their backs. They're telling the mayor, as they did last night, don't come to our gathering. Don't come to our meeting. We don't want anything to do with you. And when you've lost your cops like that, that's not a good sign for your leadership skills, nor is it a good sign of what's to come.
Yeah, and the people that matter, as you say, are the people you have to protect against the people who want to harm the rest of us. Well, the chairman of Minneapolis's Democratic Farmer Labor Party, the DFL, is facing blowback for seeming to praise rioters who burned a police precinct last summer. An op-ed read this way: like it or not, setting the 3rd precinct on fire was a genuine revolutionary moment, an act of pure righteousness to open new worlds of understanding. Again, that's a quote. He later tried to clarify those remarks, or what we say colloquially, clean it up. People have seized on the word righteousness as if I am the one assigning it moral value. That is not the case, the quote goes on. It's meant to convey how the protesters felt at the time. This, as a judge has ordered Minneapolis to hire at least 730 new police officers by next summer, even as the city says it plans to vote on a proposal to dismantle the entire police department. So again, oh my gosh, take it away, but you need it. Make sense of this, Jason.
Well, there is no sense of this, right? I mean, when you listen to recalcitrant activists in the community, you end up making really silly moves. And when you have a large wing of the Democratic Party, the progressive movement, which has so much power right now within the party, holding these positions, he can backtrack all he wants. He very clearly was supportive of the violence, because when you are being told and when you believe that every institution in this country has been built on on white supremacy, and it has to be dismantled. Well, of course people are going to get violent. When you're being told constantly over and over and over again as a community that you are the victims of white supremacy, and the only thing you can do about it is to dismantle. Well, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take that literally. And we saw that happening in the streets.
But Jason, this seems to even go further. I mean, it almost sounds like this DFL chairman, and DFL, by the way, is the left party in Minneapolis and Minnesota. They don't just call themselves Democrats. Traditionally, it's the DFL. So he's actually almost celebrating what was going on. He's a revolutionary moment. I mean, that's lifting it up to a whole new level than just violence that broke out.
Absolutely. It's praise, and they're praising it because they believe it's justified. They truly believe that this is a revolutionary moment for them. And it's very ironic in a sense, because you've got a bunch of people on January 6th who did the wrong thing, broke the law, they committed riotous acts, and they thought they were justified. And we all rightly called it out as wrong. And yet when BLM radicals do it or Antifa radicals do it, all of a sudden, whoa, we should understand their perspective here. You know, this is what they were thinking at the time. I think that has to be called out, the inconsistencies, mostly because it's dangerous. Because there's one group of people right now and for the last year who have been engaging in this kind of domestic terrorism, when you are using your ideology to commit acts of violence like this, to intimidate politicians to take certain positions, or to completely shut down anyone from speaking up against you. That's what this is. It's terrorism, and we should not be embracing it. We don't have to justify it, nor do we really have to understand the underlying conditions behind why they ended up doing it. Violence is wrong, and if you can't say that, that's weird to me.
A new Fox poll finds that only 39% of people approve of how President Biden is handling the crime crisis. We got a lot of crises. One at the borders. This one affects every American as well. And he's underwater on it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Cory Booker, I think, tried to do some cleanup this week with whatever we want to call what he did on the Senate floor. Kind of weird freak out he had. No, Democrats don't support defunding. The cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows that we have access to all of the images and video and all the quotes of Democrats embracing this movement. There's nothing that can be done about it. I wish they would look at the polling and say, maybe we should take this more seriously instead of just talk about taking it seriously.
Jason Rantz, thank you so very much for being in focus. Good to see you.
Thanks, Harris. Appreciate it.